And we are live. Only 1 week since last time. Um, Leader 1, Financial Corporation, NMLS 12007. My name is Zach Schwartz, and I am here with the one and only. For some, I can hear you, but for some reason, let's see. Yeah.
Or my head's still frozen from snow blowing.
There we go. Now we can hear you. Barry Sterner. Barry, what's your NMLS number? I never
I
learned
don't
yours. Well,
know.
mine's 894131.
All you have to do is tell the companies.
I never knew that. I don't. I just always want to be safe. But you know what? I don't think it even matters at the moment because the CFPB is basically the current acting director has told all employees in a company-wide email to cease basically all enforcement actions. How do you feel about that?
Breaks my heart.
Oh,
I will
sarcasm.
tell you that the new acting director, I think it's Voight or Vought. I don't know. I think it's Voight.
I don't know.
Has
I've only read it, but
has brought up has been all over the Townstone case and saying how idiotic that case was and that they should rescind the money that Townstone paid because for obvious reasons
oh my
there is
goodness.
there is a lot of crime in Chicago, Illinois, and he said that the mayor of Chicago said that. So, but I thought
It's
that was
beyond
great.
ridiculous. But yeah, it's Russell Voigt or Vought, um,
Russell
and
Voigt, yeah.
he's confirmed as the director of office um, of management and budget, and now the acting director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Um, and here's the thing: I am always looking out for the consumer, my customers, and there are predatory entities out there, and there needs to be a watchdog to make sure people don't get taken advantage of. um, we need an entity making sure people aren't getting salmonella from chicken and
Okay,
spinach,
but the CFPB just
but
started
the
the
CFPB
CFPB started
has
in
gone.
2008, and there was plenty of entities watching the mortgage industry and the banks before. So
Yeah,
we could do
basically the
without it.
CFPB has gone off the deep end beyond what the intent was. It would be like if the government came into my kitchen and said, "Hey, you shouldn't be eating those Swedish fish and Cheetos," you know,
You
and
shouldn't. They're
I
not good
know,
for you.
but that's not the government's job. That's my doctor's job, and that's my job. Um, for me to look after myself. And what the CFPB did to the company you used to own, I used to work for, um, was beyond ridiculous. And I had, do they say the wool over your eyes? But it opened my eyes when I saw Townstone targeted in the way that it was. My words, your words, taken out of context to insinuate that we were somehow redlining. um like, it makes me angry just to go back and think about. But I am happy we're starting this new chapter. Right now we're the Barry and Zach team powered by Leader One. We're going to have an announcement later this month that I'm really excited for. um but it really gave us a chance to look at where we were and make a change to give our customers access to better technology, more products, lower rates when it comes to mortgages. So speaking of mortgage rates, let's bring up a 10-year treasury here. So 4.5, um, basically, when we were flirting with like 4.2, um, looking at the chart, it's a little down today, but it's still 4.5. I mean, Barry, you've been saying, you know, don't wait expecting rates to fall. Um, I was talking to Dan Larkin. He thinks the opposite. He thinks give it a few months, and um, but I don't think he's got the same insight as you, because you've got a long history of getting this stuff right. So yeah,
Trying to
I've
see
got
the chart that you have. I'm putting on YouTube right now. I got it.
yeah
45, 35 there. I see what you got
yeah.
on
So
there.
like 4.5, a
I
little
mean,
above.
we had a very hot CPI number yesterday. The consumer price index
How's
was
that
the
affecting the
core the
stocks?
core the core was high due to food.
S&P
I
looks
mean,
good
not I mean
today.
not the core. The top number was hot because of food prices. Obviously, if anyone's gone to the store
Yeah,
lately, but
eggs. I can't
the
buy. I haven't bought eggs now in a few weeks.
I couldn't find strawberries this week, which is really odd. I guess blame the new
I,
president because
I
he's
was
been
at
in for 3
I was
weeks.
at
So
Costco on Monday, and there were 3 things of strawberries left, and I grabbed one because Cindy
no,
likes
I was at
strawberries.
Costco in Glenview, and there were no strawberries Monday or eggs. There were no eggs either.
No eggs. Wow.
Well, that's because of the bird flu. But so and then today we had PPI, which is producer price index, and both of those were higher than expected. They weren't crazy high, but they were still the highest that we've had, I think since June. And that has led the guessers, which you always like to look at. The guessers now have lowered their expectations for only one rate cut in 2025 by the Fed. So I don't think you're going to get any rate cuts by the Fed in 2025, but that's just where I sit right now. I
I
just,
mean,
there's too much debt.
we've got the president saying the Fed needs to cut. How much
Yeah,
impact do you think that's going to have on the
zero,
Fed?
zero,
You don't
none.
think
Nope.
that you think Trump's going to leave the Fed alone, President Trump?
I don't think the I don't think the president of the United States can do anything to the Federal Reserve. It has
He
nothing to do with Fed policy at
he
all.
appoints all of the members.
Well, he they're appointed for a certain term, so that's just the way it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he has any bearing on it
Um,
whatsoever.
so, but as you were saying, those other numbers, we do have a bounce again in the S&P, a little bounce in the Dow. Um, let's see how our gold is doing. Gold almost at $3,000 an ounce. That is ridiculous. I haven't been following gold in a while. Um, but look at that chart. It's like medieval times. Like you'd be better off uh, investing in gold
Yes, you would have.
than stocks. Um, wow, that's crazy. How's silver doing? Because I got a couple of beautiful pandas in a safety deposit box. Oh, I gotta sell. Silver's at 32.70. Look at that.
You own silver?
Physical, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You
I
have it
think
stored you have it stored under your bed?
no. I'm like the princess and the pea. If if I had silver under my bed, I would not be able to sleep at night. But wow. Because I was buying silver, back when it was like 26, 22, 22 to 26 is like when I was buying my silver. Um, and I've got it stashed around um, a couple of different places. I do have a bug out
You got it
bag.
hidden in your sock? I mean, where do you
No,
put it?
I've got a bug out
Oh,
bag. So my bug out bag, it's basically like some silver, bullets.
What does a bug out bag mean? What is that?
That is like, gotta get out of town, and we've got, you gotta go for whatever reason. Zombies, um, nuclear fallout, like it's you gotta leave the city, and drive north. Um, or
Oh
drive
boy.
wherever the bad thing isn't. So yeah, um, cash, silver, bullets, water, um,
Bullets. What are you gonna shoot?
somebody else that has food or to trade. No, that's what Where'd you go, Barry? We lost Barry here.
Yes.
Why'd we lose you?
I don't know, but because I said for anyone listening, Zach is on meds and he will continue to take meds. Lots of meds with his boogie. What is the bag called again?
Bug out bag.
Bug out
I'm
bag.
not the
Yeah.
only one. That's
I'm sure you're not the only one. I see people on TV like you all the time, but most of them are in straitjackets and the room that they're in is padded.
yeah, okay. Um, but yeah, there's no real downside to having it. There's no downside. Um, and then like
What does
most of
Cindy think about your bug out bag? Did you make her one, or are you just gonna leave by
it's a
yourself?
combined one. No, it's for both of us.
You have a
Like,
toothbrush in there?
no,
No
like
toothpaste?
this is for survival. And maybe the guy that has toothpaste in his bug out bag, I hope he packed
I would have
bullets.
toothpaste and a
Because if he
toothbrush if I had a bug out
okay,
bag.
rock, paper, scissors, bullets beats toothpaste.
Uh,
So, um, but yeah, but that's basically my spiel. Because with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau basically halting all activities, I think there needs like there does need to be an entity that does protect customers from the bad actors out there. But
yeah, but there's
what we've
lots of them.
seen from the
The
Consumer
states.
Financial Protection Bureau has gone too far for too long unchecked. Um, and they've got to get back to going after the actual bad guys and not
Yeah, but
the
here's
Townstone
another thing.
financials.
Every time they say that they get all this money from, I don't know, some of the big banks, the big banks then just raise fees on us who bank there and get the money back. So when they say that they've gotten $1 billion
Because
and
it's
most of that money,
PR.
huh?
It's just the PR.
Oh,
They
that's what I'm getting at
yeah.
when they're getting all this money from the banks. I'm sorry to say that that money is coming directly from
Oh
us.
yeah. You think the banks are
I
not,
think Trump must have just said
that's a
something
cost of
because
doing business for the banks.
let's
So
see what old Trumper just said because the market just went down really fast. He's talking right now about
literally,
tariffs, I think. I think he's talking, yeah, it just started when we started actually. Trump mentions reciprocal tariffs on Brazilian ethanol. I don't think that matters.
is Trump buys more tariffs, South stocks rise, inflation fears ease. Um,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Getting lots of different,
what do you
lots
think
of
is going to
different
happen
things.
this spring in the market that we play in?
Mortgages, I think again, we're going to see steadiness. I don't see, I do agree with you. I was just playing devil's advocate. I don't see the Fed really moving that much one way or the other. Um, and I don't see interest rates moving significantly higher or lower. So I think people are just going to get more and more used to where rates are at. Um, but I do see more and more struggling um, just struggling consumers out there. Literally right before this podcast, I got a call from a borrower I did his first purchase for like 4 years ago. We've stayed in touch. Like we talk, every week, every 2 weeks, because we got similar tastes in music and movies. But he called me today and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "I got to talk business with you, Zach." Because he's kind of gotten himself into a hole where his wages have not gone up with the price of eggs and other goods and his homeowner's insurance and his car payments. And at the time, he was beyond qualified for this home purchase. He, got a big inheritance.
How many years ago was this?
Like 5 years ago.
Okay.
So he's at like a super low great rate. But now all of these things are happening. He needs to fix the roof, the car payments, credit card balances. And I basically told him, how much are we talking here? And he's like, I don't know. So I said, here's what you need to do, and you need to be quick about it. Get a home
Is his credit? How's his credit?
Still good. He's staying on time with everything. I made sure of that. Stay on time with everything. Get a home inspector out as fast as you frickin' can to, check out that roof, look for any other problems, and then get some ballpark estimate of how much that's going to cost. We'll consolidate that with your other debt. Your payments will not go up because we did run a couple of different scenarios if it was going to be 50,000 or 75,000. His knocking out a car payment or two will more than make up for the new loan. And then just make sure you get all this stuff you need done with your house fixed, because the second you have your roof start leaking water and your insurance company drops you, I'm sorry, you're done. No, you can't get a new mortgage when you don't have insurance, if no one's going to insure you, or if the appraiser makes a note that there's problems with the roof. You're not getting a loan to fix the roof when the roof's already broken. So, again, we've got a link to email us. You just call 312-896-2100 to talk to us. We'll talk home finance, personal finance.
I mean,
you'll talk sports. I'll talk movies.
Your point is, call us before it's too late. That's the main point here. Call us before your credit goes down.
Yeah.
Call us before there's no way to appraise your house. That's where Zach's going here, because many times put it off, and then the major point is that if you need money right now, although money is not cheap, the equity in your house is, generally speaking, available to almost everybody that calls us right now, because everybody's value has gone up so much.
Yeah.
And to tap into that before you get yourself in
the
big
problem.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yes.
So again, there is zero cost. It's a one-on-one free consultation.
And your first mortgage, again, let's mention, because we haven't said this in a while. Obviously, we haven't been on that office often. Your first mortgage rate will not be touched. If you at 2.75, if you're at 3%, if you're at 3.5 on the first mortgage, that's going to remain. You're going to get money well below what your credit cards are, unless you're playing the credit card game. Yes.
And yes. So yeah, call 312-896-2100. Ask to speak to Zach if you want to talk to me. Ask for Barry if you like the guy next to me. I like movies, TV, music. This guy likes sports. What'd you think of the Super Bowl?
I leave my house and actually do things. He stays home. Show him your new layout.
I'm
Can't you
not.
show him that picture?
No. It,
I mean, that is a
it,
good layout. Show
it
them the
is a good
layout. I mean,
layout.
people will be jealous if they see
I don't
what
know
you
how to
got going on
even.
there with your
I don't even know
screens.
how to bring that
All
layout up.
right. He's
But
got quite a look now in the house now. He may never leave it.
vertical
Do you have a
monitors.
refrigerator? Do you have a refrigerator right next underneath the table?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, that would a mini
fridge filled
Mini
with
fridge.
like Red Bull, right? That would be the
that like
traditional.
rolls out every 15 minutes so you don't have to like
No,
even reach for it.
I'm a Coke Zero man. I think the president's a Diet Coke guy. He's got a button in his office for an
Diet
aide.
Coke?
Yeah, for an aide to bring
I
him a
think he only
Diet
drinks
Coke.
regular Coke. Does he
No,
drink Diet
look it
Coke?
up.
All right.
Look it up.
I don't know.
Trump
It's fine.
Diet Coke. Here,
Right.
let's see.
I'm fine with it. Don't worry about it. I don't care what he drinks. I'm not that hung up on the president, and I hope he does well.
He is, look, famous Diet Coke button.
Okay. Oh, on his desk?
On the Oval desk. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was the president, I would have I'd have a Coke Zero button because that's my beverage of choice.
I'm looking down just to see if there's any announcements here at all because he was supposed to speak at 1 o'clock. And so the US 30-year bond auction today, the high yield on the 30-year bond auction was 4.748. Not bad. The bid to cover was 2.33. That means there was 2 times as many people who wanted to buy $25 billion. I know this drives you crazy. You once made a chart of this. That the United States Treasury sold $25 billion of 30-year bonds today. Is that crazy?
Let's see the real-time U.S. debt clock here.
That's 30 years. I mean, it's crazy. So
36.
and why and I'm bringing this up because I think we look at these little fractals all the time. What's happening?
Do you see the screen right now? I don't even know.
I have to, in order to see the screen, I got to look.
Okay.
I've been looking down, but it looks bad when I'm up.
100 million.
I like
billions.
That. You should have that in the background.
$36 trillion.
Let me tell you something. You should have that in the background every time we're on. I think just to show people what's going on. I think you should have that on there.
I don't know. That's like too stimulating. I'm like
that should be on the leader one.
Barry,
I had
a seizure a couple of years ago. If I keep that screen up, I'm going to have another seizure. That should be on our
leader one website to show that. But I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that the big picture is there's a lot of debt. We owe a lot of money.
Oh.
You may not, and I don't like some of the things that Trump and Musk are doing. I will tell you, there's always unintended consequences.
Right. You're not going to like everything. You're not going to
like it, but the actual idea, the thought process that we as a country are spending too much money, everybody needs to agree with. $25 billion today. We had a fund to keep our government going.
Again, Barry,
it's ridiculous.
How much did we owe back there? Coin. You're all about the spending. I'm about.
How much did we owe there?
Like 36 trillion or something.
What do you mean I'm all about the spending? That's why, because I owned a company for 25 years and you never have.
Yeah, but
all about the spending.
But it's also about the income. There's 2 sides of the coin. If you make more, you can spend more. Sometimes, like if the government
spend everything, the government spends everything that it always takes in. What are you talking about?
Right. That's the problem. But you can fix it. I'm saying instead of fully cutting and gutting everything, I think we need to build the economy. We have to build the economy and increase.
Our economy is the best in the world.
I agree. So, close tax loopholes, increase tax revenue, and don't use that extra tax revenue to use on spending. Use that to pay down the debt.
I didn't know Bernie Sanders was here today, but
there's still a little piece of me in him. You remember? Yeah, I know. I was Bernie over.
It's the part of you that I despise.
Bernie over Clinton. You don't despise. You love me, Barry. Bernie.
I hate the Bernie Sanders. When your Bernie Sanders comes out, I mean, we are spending at a crazy level here that's unsustainable.
I again, but the main spending are the things that are just you really can't touch, like entitlements, like Social Security and Medicaid,
Please,
and
please, defense spending is out of
yeah,
hand.
defense spending. Okay,
The
defense
amount of
spending.
money that,
You think
listen,
Bernie Sanders
we're
wants
able
defense
to
spending
go
where
and
it
we're
is?
able to go and give $500 million to XYZ country for XYZ things. But meanwhile, there's people in this country that don't have, I don't know, a house to live, don't have anything to eat. It's ridiculous what we do for the pet
Okay,
projects
here we
of
go.
these people.
Here we go. Percentage of spending, 21%, biggest group, Social Security, 15% Medicare, 14% national defense, 13% interest on the debt, which we've been talking about for years. That's the problem with the debt. 13% on health, 9% income security, 6% veterans benefits. Everything else is 3% or lower. Education, training, employment, social services, 3%. Transportation, 2%. Natural resources, environment, 2%.
Okay,
Everything else,
what does this have to do
3%.
with mortgages? Tell everyone, what does it have to do with mortgages?
Well, because mortgages and interest rates and politics, it's just all connected. Personal finance, and our show is not only about mortgages. We do mortgages because we like to help people, but we
No,
also
I'm
we
not
also
saying
like to talk.
that. I'm saying it does connect the dots for the people. What does this debt have to do with mortgages? It has a lot to do with it. It actually goes hand in hand.
Because
This
interest,
isn't a trick question.
well, I mean, the way I see it is we have so much US government debt where we spend as much on interest on that debt as we basically do national defense and Medicare, that rates almost can't rise without us getting into more trouble. So I feel like that is protection against rising rates. Um, it's hard to argue for lowering rates, but I think that's why I predict we're not going to see significant movement in rates until in mortgage rates until the US debt and our net interest is taken care of, because there's too much at stake with that. Um, so that's how I think it applies to mortgages. And you said it's not a trick question, but how do you think it applies to mortgages?
It's one for one. The more debt that you have, the harder it is to lower interest rates. The harder it is for the Fed to lower.
But to also increase interest rates because it becomes a more of a
I
burden
think there's a
on
better
the
chance right
government.
now. I'll throw this zinger at you. I think there's a better chance in 2025 for a quarter point increase by the Fed than there is for a 25 basis point decrease. Put that one out
Yeah,
on Twitter for Barry Sterner. That's my opinion
I
right
don't think
now.
I have your
I think we
Twitter.
go up a
You have your
quarter before we go down a quarter, especially if the bird flu continues, if we start playing this crazy tariff game, which I don't know what that's going to result in.
I've got a little bit of a
Obviously, long term it could be good, but short term it could be very, very painful.
yeah, I've got a
Um,
little bit of a cold, and I joked with Cindy. I'm like, might be the bird flu. She's like, don't joke about that. I guess in healthcare, they're scared about it. So I don't know.
people have people have gotten the bird flu.
But I'm like, it's just a little like it's a stuffy
Stay away
nose.
from the birdies.
Yeah. Well,
Cook your meat better.
I gotta send this prequel out, Barry. Always a pleasure. Um, again, give us a call, 312-896-2100. I think I'm better than Barry. Barry will say the opposite, but either of us are going to take
If you
care of
don't
you.
like Bernie Sanders, don't call Zach.
No, if you don't like Bernie Sanders, I love to talk to you about it, because there's things about every person I disagree with, so and agree with. So I just love talking. I love hearing variety of opinions. I love helping people. And I love Cindy. And I love you too, Barry. Have a great rest of your week.
And happy Valentine's Day, Zach.
Thank you for reminding me. Got to run out and
Good
get
idea.
some Target flowers.
Oh, God.